Hey there YouTube, this is Punkrock Matt with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Kamen Black Renewal version. Even though this guy came out a few years ago, I missed his initial release, and his prices on Amazon and eBay were around $70 to $80, which was just too expensive for me at the time because I already owned the first Figuarts release for Kamen Black, and even though this guy's a very cool figure, I just couldn't justify paying that much. However, HobbyLink Japan's recently restocked him, and that's when I got him. I paid 3,325 yen, which works out to about $32.68. I'm not one to typically like to repurchase things. In fact, I really hate it. However, I am a huge Kamen Black fan, and I own his Suchaku Henshin release, which was put out right before they switched over to Figuarts, and then I bought his Figuarts release, the first one, which I'll be comparing him to later on in the review, and so, sure enough, I bought him a third time, which I think should say something about how cool a figure this is, because I hate buying things, and I bought this guy 3 times. Hate buying things again, I should say. Well, let's see how tall he is. Looking like he's just under 6 inches. Here he is next to Figuarts Kamen Ghost. Here he is next to his brother / arch nemesis Shadow Moon. And finally, here he is next to Marvel Legends Daredevil. Well, let's take a look at his articulation. There's a double ball joint in the neck, although not getting a ton out of the top part. That's mostly a swivel, but I do know it's a ball joint in there. He has these shoulder pads on a hinge. And then inside there is a ball joint, and this sort of brown wiry part flips forward to bring his arms forward, which is nicely done. He has a bicep cut up there. Show that. Because the shoulder pad moves, you can move his arm out quite a bit. A lot of good mobility there. And the shoulder pad does a pretty good job of covering up the joint. There's what I thought was originally just a single elbow joint. It is actually a double. The second joint is sort of hidden by this bicep piece here, which is very well done. Really like that a lot. And I like that the texture from the sort of like cordy, wiry undersuit is maintained. Has a socket and hinge wrist, like all Figuarts really. He has double ab joint, but this top one you don't get a ton of movement out of, a bit of side to side. This bottom one's pretty good though. And then he has a ball joint hip, and there's some good movement there. Definitely able to move his leg a lot. It looks like there is possibly a thigh cut in there. I've just opened him recently, so I haven't completely broken him in yet. I haven't had any trouble moving him though. Have a double knee joint here. Really good range of motion on that. And then his ankles have articulation. The sort of bracelets or whatever move out of the way. A little bit of a different ankle here for a Figuarts. It's a socket and hinge joint, and normally there's a lot of like side to side action, good ankle pivot. He's got some ankle pivot, but it's not what I thought it would be for a Figuarts. It's not terrible, but a little different for a Figuarts. And then he has a toe joint as well. Definitely very good in the articulation department. Really don't have any complaints. The ankle's a small thing, I feel like. It doesn't keep him from being able to stand or anything like that, so that's a good thing. Get him stood up there. We'll take a quick look at his box here. Fairly standard Figuarts box. He's not like the iPhone case sort of renewal box. If you don't know what I mean by that, a box like this, Kuga, Agito, Decade, probably Double, Hibiki, they all came in a different style box. I think black was the first Renewal figure though. Nice looking though. It's got this sort of marbled green, cool picture of black on there. Some poses on the back. And then one thing I want to show also is the box the original came in case you're buying this aftermarket like from eBay or Amazon, because you don't want to think you're buying the new one and getting the old one. This is the old box, or for the older figure. Before we move on to accessories, I'd like to show some comparisons to the older figure. This is the original Kamen Rider Black from Figuarts, and to this day I still think he's a nice figure, and I definitely still like him. But as far as show accuracy goes, you really can't beat the Renewal version. It's all in the head sculpt. This one looks way more like the show. And it's not as though they weren't trying. I mean, back in the day when this came out, this was a really nice figure. And like I said, it still is. But it's not beating this guy. There's just proportionally some really nice things done with this one. The colors are better. The black emblem is more spot on. The undersuit is represented a lot better. He is overall a better figure, although this one has metal feet and a good ankle pivot. So there is that. If you have this guy already, you know, if you're not a huge fan of black like I am, you might think about just sticking with him. But I do like this guy a lot, and I do like him better. As far as accessories, he does come with some interchangeable hands. 10 total, including the ones that are equipped to him at the start of the whole thing, before you even take him out of the box. He's got 2 of these rider chop kind of hands. There's a nice little pad on the inside of the palm. I like the way that looks. 2 of those. He's got 2 of these splayed open hands. Definitely nice looking, good detail on the digits and everything. Again, has the pad inside the palm there. He's got 2 of these like holding hands. You can use these for his motorcycle, Battle Hopper, which the original figure didn't come with hands like this. I think the hands for Battle Hopper came with Battle Hopper. I just put my Shaku Henshin guy on the Battle Hopper back in the day. But he can also hold, Satan's Saber. And then he has these 2 hands, which are posed for post-Henshin posing action. Because if you're a Kamen Rider, you can't just kick a guy's ass. You gotta pose down first. That's how that goes. He does come with more hands than the original figure. And, in most cases, more is always better. Well, in closing, I just want to say that I'm very happy with this figure, even though this is the 3rd time I've bought him in this scale. I can't say I regret it, especially for the price I paid. $32 is not bad at all for a Kamen Rider Figuarts. And since Hobby Japan has recently restocked them, and they are still in stock right now, if you've been thinking about picking this guy up, hopefully I helped you make up your mind. If you don't have a black at all yet and you want one, this is definitely the one to get. If you have the original black and you're thinking about upgrading, I would say go for it if you have the money to do it. I don't regret it, so hopefully you won't either. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Take it easy.